Hello everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video for the KP's Place channel. We have got our Survivor Series WarGames results and reaction video, and I am joined today by Scarlett, Ishmik and Kurt. So we've got the whole gang here ready to go in this video like it was in the original. We can't wait to get underway here. We want to share our thoughts on what we thought of everything regarding Survivor Series. Let's break down all the matches, rate them, and see what we all thought of it. So let's start with the opening match of the night, which was that WarGames match. We had obviously the team of Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and that mystery partner, which was then revealed on SmackDown to be Becky Lynch, taking on the team of Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki Cross. So this match was what I thought to be a really, really good way to start off the show. I think everyone basically knew this was going to start off the show. It wasn't a massive surprise. But yeah, it was full of content. Like in terms of like the sort of like the in-ring talent inside the structure as well. This match had a lot going on, and I think like in regards to everything that went down in the match, I think it lived up to the first main roster WarGames match. I thought it was a great way to kick things off for the match type. In terms of the result for this match, I was particularly a little bit surprised by the team of Bianca and everybody else winning. Purely because I feel like the faces in this story have essentially dominated, and they've basically been in control, of this whole situation from the very beginning, and it hasn't really eased up at all. Yeah, I don't know. It's very much a case of those faces basically being at the top of the division, and it doesn't seem to be a way for them to be falling down anytime soon. So I thought maybe the heels were going to get the win, obviously down to control Rhea and Nikki, but hey, it didn't happen in the end. The win went to Team Bianca, and even though I didn't necessarily agree with the result, it doesn't take away from what was a really, really good match. So that's something that we can, have a plus with there. But like I said, great way to start off the show. Every woman was showcased, I thought, quite well, except for maybe Alexa. I didn't think she got involved too much. Didn't really get into any big spots or anything. Rhea was sort of nullified by the poison mist, which I guess you can kind of understand for a little bit. But then, yeah, she went through that ladder with Mia Yim. I think I would have liked to have seen more from Alexa and Rhea in this match, but they're my only real criticisms from this one. I thought it was great. We had some really top spots in the match. We had that crossbody off the top of the structure from Nikki Cross. We had the moonsault from Io off of the structure as well, and then Becky's leg drop onto the tag champs through the table, which was great as well. So yeah, great match to start off the show. I would give this one an 8 out of 10 personally. Thought it was really, really fun to watch and was full of content. So I'll pass you over now to Ishmik, who will give you his thoughts.
I thought this match was going to kick off the show as well, and obviously it did. It did the one thing that I wanted it to do, which was Io Sky backflipping off the cage. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. I'm probably going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well. I don't really like how Rhea and Alexa were involved in it. It kind of sort of made them just look weak the whole entire time. And yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I thought this match was good. I really like the movesets that they did as Mia Yim and Rhea went through the ladder on the picture, and Bianca Belair suplexing Dakota and Io, and I really like Nikki's splash on everyone, and especially Io Sky's. I really thought this was a good match to start off with, as it's got more actions and stipulations to each other, and I really enjoyed Oscar green miskin Rhea Ripley's face, and obviously, as my prediction said, Team Bianca won, and I really enjoyed this match. And I give it this 8 out of 10 of Do You Scarlett.
So I kind of thought that Rhea was going to get, this is going to be her moment to shine. Even before the match, like in the cage, she's doing the chin-ups. Like, I just thought she was going to run havoc. They saved her for last. Everyone would, theoretically beat down by that point. Really thought she was going to come in and kind of steal the show. But as you all mentioned, Asuka's green mist kind of nullified her there, which I did believe that to make her look a little weak. Alexa, yeah, I think she kind of seems off. she has for a while. Like even in the cage, if you go back and watch the match and look at them all in the cage, they're all like strategizing and stuff, and Alexa's just kind of sitting there. I would be surprised if we're not getting a heel turn from her. My only other thought is maybe she's just kind of losing interest in wrestling. I don't see that happening. I think it's got to be a heel turn on the horizon here. But yeah, this match was a lot of fun. Outside of the Rhea issue, I really enjoyed it. 3 spots from the top of the cage. It was great to see. My only other complaint would be Becky winning the match. Of course, she just came back. She wins the match, and it's kind of starting to get booked like Charlotte a little bit. Every time she returns, she goes after a title, and hopefully it doesn't happen this time. But coming back and winning the match right away, I think anyone else could have won. I also feel like the heels probably should have won this because Damage Control can't seem to pick up more than 1 victory in a row. Can't pick up any consecutive victories. That, and you have the prominent member of, in my opinion, the best member of Judgment Day right now, which is Rhea. I think they could have used the momentum more than the faces could have here. But yeah, it was a fun match, and I swear I had this number before, but I also gave it an 8 out of 10. A lot of fun and a great way to start the pay-per-view. Back to you, KP.
Thanks very much, guys. Glad to hear that we're pretty much all on the same wavelength regarding like how we thought the match went and stuff. It was a great way to start off the show. So without further ado, let's move on to our next match of the night, which was that singles match between AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Obviously, you had Judgment Day and the OC making their presence made in this match early on, but one of the best things that I thought came from this match was that they were dealt with very, very early, and they allowed AJ and Finn to basically do their thing for the majority of the match, which was great because you didn't need interference with this. You didn't need to have like all sorts of chaos going on. These two can deliver an absolutely banger match for a very, very long time, and it's great to see. AJ winning the match was quite expected for the most part. I think a lot of people probably would have banked on him winning this contest against Finn just to get some momentum rolling again. And it was great to see AJ pick up his first premium live event victory in, I think, is almost 2 years now. So it's a crazy, crazy stat that he hasn't won more singles matches on premium live events. But thank God he's won one again now. Hopefully he can get into a bit more of a role, and we can see a lot more wins for AJ Styles going forward in the future, which is freaking fantastic. He's one of the best, to do it. In terms of what I thought about this match, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It was back and forth. Both men really showcased their talents like as best as they could do. And I could have at least watched another half an hour of this match, like quite easily. And then I probably would have watched it again afterwards as well. So it was great. It was really, really fun. It was a fantastic match. And like I said, getting rid of the rest of the OC and Judgment Day was a fantastic way to do it earlier on. And it just allowed these two to really have an epic match. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was probably match of the night in my eyes, to be fair. Over to you, Ishmik, with your thoughts.
Basically same thing. I really liked how Judgment Day and OC were dealt with early. Sort of just left both of them one-on-one to put on a banger. All the counters and the storyline behind this, I really liked it. It probably was match of the night for me as well. Right now, both the Judgment Day have lost both of their matches, obviously. But I think they might be adding a third member for like the men's side. Fourth member for the men's side pretty soon. Because they're seeming to look pretty weaker now. Hopefully you can get someone to sort of like boost it up a little bit. But yeah, I really like this match. 9 out of 10 for me as well. Over to you, Kurt.
For me, I think this match was okay and good. I don't really think it's the best, and the reason why I think that is, I thought the OC and Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Dominic will like intervene in the match and attack each other, and then obviously do what they did after by turning into turnbuckle and stuff. And I really enjoyed this by the move sets. Obviously liked AJ and Finn fighting, obviously doing back and forth with each other and their movesets, and not got much to say, but I thought this one would be had a bit more time to it. So this is why I thought it wasn't like the best of the match. So I rate this one a 7 out of 10. Over to you, Scarlett.
Yeah, we're on the same page there, Kurt. I think when it comes to me personally, I see two guys like this in the ring. Your expectations are always just unrealistic, almost. I'm not saying it was a bad match, but I gave it a 7 out of 10 as well. But basically to further what you guys had said was, with Triple H running the show now, it's great that he didn't allow the other wrestlers to get involved here, because you have just a problem in WWE with heel factions and heels in general always having interference, and it gets old. So to get rid of them at the beginning and let these two just do what they do best, do the best in the business, go at it. It was a lot of fun. Basically what KP said, I could watch these guys wrestle every day. There at the end, you saw AJ's chest and Finn's back pretty red. You know these guys gave it their all. It was a fun match. Back to you, KP.
All right, so 50-50 split with the sounds of it there. Couple of 9, couple of 7s. I think either way we can appreciate that these two guys have the chance to, really showcase what they're still capable of doing today. So yeah, it's great to see that. And obviously, like Scarlett just said then, with the whole Triple H now in the helms, it's great to see sort of wrestling content being prioritized, which is just fantastic. I'm sure we'll get plenty more matches going forward, similar to this, great talents and, showcasing their abilities. Okay, so we go from one scale to another here. Let's go on to our next match, which was Ronda Rousey defending her SmackDown Women's Championship up against the challenger Shotzi. And I have not been, shy about my feelings in regards to this match. I didn't think it belonged on the card at first, but I thought, hey, let's give it a chance to see how it goes, and it might surprise me. It didn't. It didn't surprise me. It was not. It didn't have a place on the card in my eyes. Like, you compare every other match to this one, and you can see the lack of quality. You can see the lack of just everything involved with it. Realistically, it was an obvious result. No one realistically expected Ronda Rousey to lose this match. I think it was a case of Ronda was always going to win, and it was always going to be a case of how Shotzi could really deal any offense and prove to be a game challenger to Ronda. And we've spoken a little bit about this since it has aired, obviously, and it's been on and whatnot. And Shayna being there to essentially just, I don't know, make Shotzi look stronger. That's essentially her part in this match. The little bits of interference that she had was essentially just to make Shotzi look like a bigger threat, and Shotzi was able to nullify Shayna without any sort of problems. It was quite simple for her. I didn't really rate that. I didn't rate it at all. I thought that it's a way of making Shayna look ridiculously weak. And yeah, I don't know. It was just trying to emphasize Shotzi as a challenger. I get that. I understand it, but I don't agree with it necessarily. But yeah, I felt the match lacked pace and pizzazz compared to the rest of the match card. And I just hope that the SmackDown Women's division has something better and bigger planned soon, because at the moment it's just a sinking ship, and I just don't see any sort of light on the division at the moment. It's a sad situation when you consider the Raw Women's division being so stacked and it's full of talent. It's just kind of crazy. It's two polar opposites there. I didn't enjoy this match particularly. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10. And yeah, I just want to see some better action for the women's division on SmackDown. Whether it's Ronda, I don't know if it's the Ronda effect or not, but either way, a change is needed imminently. So yeah, 5.5 out of 10. How about you then, Ishbek?
I really love this match. I think it was a 10 out of 10. No, you can tell I'm joking. Yeah, this match was kind of boring. I sort of just sat back and watched it. Wasn't really interesting. Shayna was basically a punching bag for Shotzi. The only bit that was somewhat interesting was when Shotzi cross-bodied into the crowd and hit those people. I don't know if it was real people or not, but yeah, that was probably the best bit about it. Yeah, SmackDown Women's division is lacking people. what I would have liked if Triple H moved Damage Control to SmackDown, and maybe Shayna, Ronda, and another person could feud with Damage Control. Probably would have been a better thing to do. But yeah, I gave this match 3 or 4 out of 10. Wasn't really interested in it. And yeah, over to you, Kurt.
Yeah, as what KP and H-Mix said, I thought this was the worst match of the pay-per-views. It wasn't really that interesting to watch. This could obviously be like a SmackDown match on like a SmackDown show, not a pay-per-view, because it wasn't actually had a lot of movesets to it, and it's just making Ronda like an easy person to fight against when Ronda's normally like a fierce person, like a good challenge of fighting people and stuff. So this was just like a quick match for Ronda to like just congratulations with a title. Only one move that I really like was when Shotzi went on the crowd and Shayna and Ronda. That's only one move that I really liked. But after that, it was just a bit boring. So I rate this match a 4 out of 10. I thought this was the worst one on the show. Didn't really like it. So I pass you on to Scarlett to tell you his thoughts. Over to you, Scarlett.
Yeah, I like the idea of bringing Damage Control over to SmackDown. I mean, it kind of works, especially since you have, the tag titles that are already cross-branded anyways. Another idea that I had was Becky. She's kind of got that status to where she could maybe be on either show. Obviously Seth's on Raw, but I kind of feel like they're doing away with the brand exclusive wrestlers anyways, or at least leaning in that direction. I'm going to try to not bring up a bunch of negatives about this match because we all basically have already said it. But one of the positives I brought out of this was at the beginning of the match, they had kind of hyped up Shotzi, for better or worse, but at least they hyped her up as a #1 contender. Another issue I have with WWE is throwing people in title matches and not making them earn it. Hoping that, with Triple H, I think he has a pretty good record of doing that, making each challenger earn their title opportunity. A lot of people shit on this match for Ronda's no sell of the tornado DDT off the ropes. That one I can't really defend. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was just a mix-up, maybe some miscommunication there. I'm not sure. I can't really defend that one. But there were a couple other moves. The top center one here showed Ronda kind of reversed that one. I thought that was pretty cool. And Shotzi did like an elbow drop, or not an elbow drop, a leg drop, and Ronda kind of reversed that one into a submission as well. I think her style is just different, and I don't think a lot of people like that style particularly. And obviously her attitude hasn't been the best. But I have a lot of hope for Ronda, and I just don't think she needs Shayna. I think Shayna, she doesn't help. She's not any better on the mic than Ronda, and the only way I just assume they're eventually going to feud with each other. But I obviously assume that's way down the road. But we'll see what happens. Didn't care much for how much offense Shotzi got in. Unfortunately, I think Triple H just sees her in a different light than everyone else does. But it is what it is. Especially with Shayna at her side, she got more offense than both of them, and she was outnumbered. It just doesn't make any sense. But Raquel getting injured by Ronda, I think she's the next challenger here, and being Shotzi's former tag partner, I think she's next. And I think that match, I couldn't be worse, right? So I think that's our next where we're going with this. And on the way out, Ronda says she's the goddamn queen. I think we all know that's Queen Raquel. So looking forward to that match. I gave this one a 4 out of 10. It definitely didn't feel like it belonged. Felt like a SmackDown match, and even that would have been a little lackluster. Hopefully Ronda can turn it around going forward before everyone turns on her and she gets the go-away heat really ramped up. Back to you, KP.
All right, my 5.5 seeming a little high right now. I'll be honest, compared to all of your guys' opinions. I forgot to mention the no sell from Ronda on that DDT. I think it was a no sell anyway on the apron. I don't know, but yeah, elements of the match were, somewhat interesting. But yeah, I mean, well, I've voiced my major opinions on this one. So let's carry on to the next match that followed this one, which was the United States Championship match. Obviously, we had Seth Rollins defending the title up against Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. So, I mean, I really enjoyed this match. I didn't know exactly how it was going to go down, in the sense that I wasn't really confident on the winner of this one. I think it could have gone a couple of ways, but I think either way, I never really expected Bobby Lashley to win, which obviously he didn't. It went to Austin Theory in the end, with that in what I thought was actually a really, really cool ending. I quite liked it. So you had Seth Rollins trying to hit the Falcon Arrow onto Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley coming across the ring, hitting that big spear, and Austin just basically falling and then rolling over onto Seth to get the cover and to get the pin. Yeah, I really rated the ending. I thought Austin sort of got it in a sense of it was quite a lucky finish for him. That's probably how they wanted to book it. But, I mean, I got no problems with this. I think that his change of attitude recently has just made him way more convincing. I'm a big fan of Theory anyway, so it just pretty much adds on to my liking for his character at the moment. And yeah, I think this win is really, really good for him. It's what he needs. Maybe this allows Seth Rollins to go on to bigger and better things in the future. I'm not too sure. I would like to see Seth against Roman again at some point, but I don't know if there's a window in that whole thing going on at the moment. Obviously, they're tied up in other things. But yeah, great match. Not quite the result I expected, because I was going for a Seth retaining the championship. But hey, I certainly am not complaining. It was brilliant. I thought every guy in this match had their chance to really, show what they're capable of, and they had a brilliant involvement in the match. And I thought they all complemented themselves, each other really, really well in this match. It was brilliant. Obviously, with that experimental finish as well, another great idea. And yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I think Bobby tried doing a double hurt lock in the end on both Theory and Rollins. That was quite cool to see as well. I didn't quite get it done, but hey, it was a nice idea. But I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was really, really full of content, entertaining to watch, and a great finish as well. So yeah, I couldn't really fault it, to be honest. It was fantastic. Ishmik, what are your thoughts, man?
I really liked this match as well. Obviously, I wanted Theory to win, as said in the predictions video, and we got it right. Yeah, I really did like this match. Of course, I didn't think Bobby was going to win. I knew it was going to be between Rollins and Theory. But yeah, nothing more to say about that match, apart from where Theory and Rollins are going to go now. I think they're going to be having a feud now. Rollins calling Theory his kid. Probably going to go back to when they're all in a faction together. And yeah, I'll give this an 8 out of 10. I quite like the match. Over to you, Go.
So for me, I thought this match was the best match of the night. I really enjoyed this match. And obviously, my prediction winner won, which was Theory. Obviously, me and Ishbik knew who were going to win this one. And I really like the movesets, especially Bobby tried to power slam Theory, and the submission move that Bobby did to Seth, but then Theory went on top of Bobby to even it out and made Bobby break it up. And especially at the ending, I liked when Seth Rollins raised Theory up and then Bobby Lashley speared Seth, so Theory can land on Seth to get the win. And I'm really excited to see how Theory goes with this championship. And I think he will do a good job with this one. And as he changed his mood setting as like a heel kind of thing. And I wonder if Seth and Theory will continue for the next pay-per-view. And I think so. I rate this match is 8.5 out of 10. This one, because I really enjoyed it, especially the moveset and Theory becoming a new champ, which I predicted. So I pass you over to Scarlett for his thoughts. Over to you, Scarlett.
Yeah, this is a pretty fun match. Lots of potential from the three of them. I think Theory winning is pretty. It was nice to see to push him back in the right direction. There for a while, we were unsure if he was going to be with the company for 2 months longer. But he's back in the right direction. I think a long title reign with him, at least like 6-month reign with him would be really beneficial and help him continue to build that character. Another thing that made this match impressive was all three of them were booked pretty strongly, which is, none of them came out of the match looking weak, in my opinion, which is hard to do in a triple threat. But I really enjoyed the outcome. I did feel like the finish was maybe a little botched. Maybe it was just the camera angle. They had meant to go a little further to the right to make it not so obvious that he didn't quite spear him as he had intended. But that being said, the match was really fun. And I have nothing but high hopes for Theory. Push him to the moon. He has unlimited potential. As for what's next, I mean, you think about it, Theory and Lashley have been feuding for the better part of 6 months now, on and off. He lost the U.S. title to him at Money in the Bank, which was beginning of July. So yeah, assuming they had a little feud before that, I can't recall, but yeah, close to 6 months they've been going at it. I think it's time for something new. All three of these wrestlers just have been on the upward trend for a while. I don't know if Seth, kind of what KP was mentioning, I don't know if Seth goes on to Roman. Kind of seem like they're kind of putting KO in that direction. I wouldn't be mad if it was KO and Seth Rollins, but I think Seth Rollins is a little bigger than the U.S. title right now. I think he needs to go for something else. Let Bobby and Theory keep going, or let Theory move on to someone else. Give this match an 8 out of 10. Back to you, KP.
Thanks for pretty much saying what I said, everybody there, because this was a great match, and I think this is really a situation where you need that second world title, and it needs to be off of Roman Reigns. You can't just have him holding both of them hostage, because these guys, realistically, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, they could be going for a world championship at the moment, but they can't because it's they're both on Roman. So it's taken the top spot away from people like this who deserve the opportunity to go on to other things. Like Scarlett said, these guys, Theory and Lashley, they've been going out for 6 months nearly now. So it's time to change. Bobby's a big sort of competitor that needs to be in a world title picture, and he doesn't have the possibility of doing it at the moment. It's a shit situation. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Let us move on to what was the main event match and the last match of the show, which was the men's WarGames match. Obviously, you had the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, taking on the Bloodline. And honestly, I thought this match was great. Didn't think the content in the match was quite as good as that of the women's WarGames match. So if you're comparing literally like WarGames to WarGames, that's my general opinion. I just didn't think this quite was on the same level in terms of the in-ring content. However, what I really, really enjoyed was the whole story element to it. The story carried this match like nothing else. It was fantastic. I thought the storyline was unreal. Storytelling was fantastic, literally perfect. And I thought everybody in this match had a really good showing, like as in terms of like, being able to showcase what they're all about. Didn't think anyone would showcase more than anyone else per se. Obviously, Roman coming in at the end, not having to deal with too much sort of thing. There was that stare down with Kevin Owens, which we now know was apparently not quite how Roman thought it was going to go down. More about that maybe later on if we want to talk about it. But yeah, I thought it was really, really great. Sami, Jay, Roman were the complete stars of this match. It was just a brilliant storytelling piece of art in my eyes, and obviously they provided that very wholesome moment at the end with the Bloodline, obviously all sort of in a much better state now. And yeah, I mean, Sami's trusted by Jay, which is just freaking awesome to see. Like, it's what Sami deserves in the Bloodline. He's committed to it, and disrespecting Kevin Owens by obviously hitting him with that low blow, dealing a haluva kick, and then basically saying to Jay, "You got this, finish it." Very captivating watch, this one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, the storytelling carried it. And yeah, it didn't quite go the way that I thought it would go. I thought it would go the other way. But I can't complain at all. Not a chance. I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, great watch, 100%. Okay, Ishmik, what are your thoughts, man?
I think these were one of the matches where it's more storyline based and not like content based. Like the storyline behind this was amazing. Obviously, Kevin, Sammy, like is he gonna get betrayed? What's gonna happen with him? Obviously, Kevin Owens telling Sammy to betray them before they do the same, and obviously Jey Uso hearing it, not trusting him as much as he would anymore. But Sammy obviously regaining the trust. Probably going to be called Sammy Uso pretty soon. But yeah, not much more to add, except from the picture at the bottom right where Solo Sikoa isn't putting the ones up, and Roman Reigns is just giving him that dirty look. Like, I think it's going to be Solo Sikoa going for Reigns like pretty shortly. He doesn't seem to be like as in the bloodline as everyone else would. A bit like Alexa and obviously Bianca's faction of some sort. But yeah, I think Solo Sikoa will betray Reigns soon, hopefully setting up a good match between them. But yeah, I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. Over to you, Kurt.
So for this match, I really enjoyed the match, but I didn't really like the results. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So for the match, I really enjoy it because they were doing like the storyline from SmackDown as Kevin's feud with Sammy and Jey, and Sheamus and Brawling Boots feud as they were doing in SmackDown. I really enjoyed it in the left bottom picture when they were all doing the Sheamus's arm slaps to the bloodline, and the part that I thought the match was good enough was when Kevin Owens came in, because Kevin Owens did good matches on this one, especially his flying top turnbuckle one and his kicks and stunners and stuff. And this is obviously leading up to Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in the future, because they're mainly Roman and Kevin feuding with each other, especially with spears and the stunner and finishes and stuff. And I noticed as well, Kevin Owens got a Dusty Rhodes top on, so it's that rumors are planning on Cody Rhodes returning soon. Ollie. So I'll tell you about the results, why I wasn't really happy with the results. The reason why I wasn't happy with the results is because I wanted Team Brawling Boots to win. The reason why, because obviously Jey and Sammy got along with each other at the end when they won and stuff, and being back as a team together. The reason why I wanted, because I thought one of them was going to break out of the bloodline. That's what I wanted to happen. So I thought Jey and Sammy gonna like battle each other, and then Roman tear them apart, and one of Sammy and Jey will make Kevin Owens pin one of them to get the win. That's the results thingy, and I was hoping something to happen in SmackDown, like one of them come out, and I thought Sammy will team up with Kevin. That's the reason why I thought it was. Anyway, with the match, I thought it was a good storyline. I really enjoyed it, especially when Roman were letting Sammy out before Jimmy, because they wanted to see how they were getting along first. They didn't. But as long as this match goes, I really enjoyed it, and I give this a 9.5 out of 10. Over to you, Scarlett.
Yeah, not a lot to add that you all haven't, but just to continue off of that, I think typically women's matches have better storylines, but the men's usually have the better wrestling. I think was a scenario where that was reversed. The storyline was better, while the wrestling wasn't quite as good as the women's. And that was interesting to see. While I do enjoy the story that was told during this match, I am a little disappointed. Basically, to what Kurt was saying was, now it feels like we're back to square one with the bloodline. You know, we're laying those eggs, and we should have known it was too obvious. It wasn't going to happen tonight. But, you know, I think we were all kind of wondering if it would see some kind of betrayal or some sort of crack in the bloodline being taken advantage of. But we're now back into square one, and perhaps Ishmik is right. Maybe Solo is coming back to feud with Reigns. I kind of viewed that picture as Roman looking at Sammy like, yeah, you did it. You're part. You're part of the group now. But I'm all for the Solo and Roman feud too. It's just I want to see something happen with the bloodline. The bloodline can stay together, but I want a title off Reigns. And I feel like with this match, we're taking a step back towards square one and trying to figure out how that's going to happen. So we'll see where that goes. I too wanted the Brawling Brutes to win this match, but maybe we should have known better because the bloodline's involved. They don't lose or don't do it very often. But comparing the two WarGames matches, maybe that's why the faces won in the women's match, because they knew the bloodline were going to win here. It's a silly logic, but maybe that is what was used here. But yeah, I feel like they should have reversed it. I feel like the bloodline should have lost here to continue that storyline, and the heels should have won, because I have a bunch of prominent factions in the heel group for the women's, but not comparing them. I just wanted to bring that up. I gave this match an 8 out of 10. It was a lot of fun. And I just want to see KO go after Roman now. Back to you, KP.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Scarlett at the back end of that little segment there. I thought the results should have been flipped, but again, not really a conversation for now. It's basically about paying respect to what really was a great show overall. And honestly, I thought that, except for the Ronda and Shotzi match, which had no place to be on the card with the rest of them, I thought it was a quality Survivor Series. It was probably one of the best Survivor Series we've had in a number of years. I don't really remember the last one that was probably as good as this one as a general show. Sure, there have been some with some great moments and stuff, but yeah, this one was up there with one of the better ones in recent times, and thank God it is, because Survivor Series needed some respect back on its name, because it's one of those events that I always used to look forward to every year, not so much in the last couple of years, but yeah, it's good to know that, there's hope for this, this long time event that they have each year. So that's always good to see. I gave this event as a general an 8 out of 10, because I thought that it was, it was up there and one of the better shows of the year, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, I give the overall show a 7 out of 10. Definitely, mountains above what have been the last few Survivor Series. The last one I can even recall was the Becky Lynch making up the man. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and it was good to see basically a refresh button hit on Survivor Series.
Same for me. Showed 7.5 out of 10. Just a few disappointing matches. I say a few, only one. We all know which one that was. And yeah, and the last one, I thought the Brawling Brutes should have won as well. Kurt?
Yeah, same for me. I give this one a 8 out of 10, and I've obviously Shotzi and Ronda match, and no point being in this match because of rubbish. Even than that, I thought it was really good, and I think it's probably the best Survivor Series we had so far in WWE. So I enjoyed it. Back to you, KP.
Yes, guys, gotta love it. Glad we all agree. Thank you, everybody, for being with me today. Thank you very much for contributing to this reactions video. So thank you to Kurt, thank you to Ishbik, thank you to Scarlett. And yeah, I guess our next one probably won't be until the Royal Rumble now, where we do a predictions video for that. That seems a way away. It's like almost 2 months away. So it's going to be a bit of a long wait before the next one, guys. But I'm sure we'll all be here and we'll be around. So I look forward to the next one. If there is something impromptu before that, then hey, we'll be ready. But I don't think there will be. That'll probably be the next event. So big times ahead of us. The Royal Rumble, it's a big event, and it's one of the greater ones of the year if done right. So yeah, let's look forward to the next one, guys. So this has been another KP's Plays YouTube video with KP, because that would be me, with Kurt, Scarlett, and Ishmik, and this has been WarGames.